Welcome, No Holds Bar
Yes, sir.
family, friends, loved ones. I am your host today.
Yes,
Uh-oh,
sir.
I'm in charge. That's not good for anybody. Welcome to
It's
No
not.
Holds
Yeah,
Bar
you're right.
podcast with
You're
my
right. It ain't good for anybody.
esteemed tag team partner,
Oh
Alfred
yeah.
Hollywood Matthews. Say what's up, big
Oh
dog. Say,
yeah.
say what's up to the
What's up?
masses, to
What's
the
up? What's
people.
up? What's up? What's up? What's up, YouTube?
Y'all are probably wondering
We're gonna
why.
have a good show today.
You're probably wondering why you see my ugly face instead of our favorite host and that stupid ass hat of his. It is his mother's birthday. Also, my adopted mother's birthday. So they are out to dinner, having a wonderful time. So big shout out to my adopted mom. Hey mom,
Shout
someone had
out,
to hold
shout
it
out.
down on the podcast today. But
Oh yeah.
let's do it. No, we do not want the Wyatt hat, Ryan. We don't want that. This is a Wyatt hat free zone and no holds barred tonight. Thank God.
Y'all can wait
Thank
one more
God.
week for the Wyatt hat. It
Oh,
ain't
we
going
we
anywhere.
we need a week break. Honestly, we need a week break from the Wyatt hat and all of its glory. I hope Alex is tuning in, watching, listening, or at least watches this recap because we're gonna flame him up a little bit.
Oh yeah.
Thank God that hat is not here. Let's go ahead and
Thank
Alex is
God.
coming back with three. I hope he comes back with no hats. You know what? I might drive to his house live on the next podcast and tackle him in his own home. I might do it. I might do it. I might do it. All right, let's jump into it. Have you been watching Rampage tonight? Did you watch it at
So
all?
far, I haven't. So far, I
Man,
haven't. What? Give me like a little bit of
let me tell you.
clip notes so
So,
far. I'm recording it right now. That's the reason why I asked. That's why I said that I'm
so
recording it
you
right
can
now.
probably see it's live back on the TV right now. It's
Yeah, I see. I see a little bit.
yeah. So, but anyways, I was watching earlier, and there was this promo from NJF and Ricky Starks. Let me just
Okay.
say that might be a contender for promo of the year
Wait,
because
hold on.
I
Rewind. Hold
want
on. Rewind that.
yeah.
Prom. At, so is better than the first MJ one I was referring to.
Yes. Yes, because I need you. I wish you could pull it up right now because I just want to say how MJF controls the mic like he does, honestly. Because this man is on a different level. And I was just kind of thinking, how is Ricky Starks going to respond? How is he going to go on? Because Ricky Starks is a face now. Like there's no doubt about it. He's over with the crowd. He's over with
Right.
everybody. You can tell people are chanting for him, chanting with him. And the back and forth that they had tonight was
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking forward to the match that they're going to have for MJF's ring. So it's one of those promos that I couldn't take my face off. I cannot take my eyes off the TV. Like I better than his first promo that you were talking about.
With
Honestly,
William Regal. Oh wow.
yes, like that one was good, but this one makes you tune in for the match. This one makes you okay. I'm gonna see what this is all about. Ricky Starks. Let's see what's gonna happen between the two. And they're in your favorite town. They're in Austin, Texas tonight. So
My favorite town.
I just know you got nothing but love for that place.
Is it April Fools? Is April my favorite town?
Your favorite town, Austin, Texas, the town that you just love to hate. That's Alfred's favorite place to hate. I don't know if Alfred hates more, Dallas or Austin. I don't know. Alfred.
It's neck and neck between those two. It's neck
But
and neck.
man, let's just jump into it. You know, Alex sent us. I don't know if he sent you the email earlier, but he sent me kind of like the no holds barred itinerary of things we're going to talk about. All right. So here's what I'm doing. Let me see if I can get it. Here's what we're doing. Here's what we're doing with this script and the things that he sent me. And I did that. All right. So we're just going to, no, I'm just kidding. Alex would be like, wow, guys, I spent all this time at work making this outline for you. And you guys aren't even going to talk about the things I want to talk about. All right. Let's jump into it. Let's talk about the thing that I keep seeing on Twitter. And Alex he's gonna come back on the show and he's gonna be like, I told you. He's probably been telling me this for months, and here's the thing. I'm going to say it here and now. What's today's date? December 7th at 8:09 Central Time. I know that The Rock is probably coming back at the Royal Rumble. I know The Rock is probably going to have to fight Roman Reigns at Mania type of thing, because there's nothing that I see more on my Twitter feed and everything else. It says The Rock returns at Mania, The Rock coming back at the Rumble, The Rock going to get this. You know what? I'll say this. There is nobody, I probably you agree with me too, but there's nobody who loves that old attitude feud of The Rock and Stone Cold and The Rock one-on-one for three WrestleManias? 3 different WrestleManias they fought at?
It was WrestleMania 15,
What,
17.
the first one was here, right? It was 15.
Well, the second one. The first one was WrestleMania 15.
That's right. And 17 was that
17 was the second one.
where Stone Cold tried to turn heel and the crowd was like, "We don't care. You're still over. We're not going to boo you."
You know I'm a Stone Cold Mark when I was 11 years old at that event, and I was normally when you were 11 years old, you'll be like booing the bad guy or be crying and things like that. It was a bad thing when I was cheering at WrestleMania when he turned heel.
I was gonna say you didn't have the Miz girl's angry face when he won and turned heel and embraced Vince McMahon, the enemy that he's sworn to hate his entire time there. No, you didn't have that face. I had that face.
I was actually cheering.
I was so disappointed. I was like, no, we hate Vince, and you're embracing this man. What are we like? My whole childhood is shattered. Like, what are we doing here? But the reason I brought that up is I love The Rock. Like The Rock, there's face Rock. There's my personal favorite, Hollywood heel Rock, which when you knew The Rock was wearing his unbuttoned Gucci shirt, you knew stuff was about to pop off on that mic. And he did not disappoint. He gave us some of the best promos, the best lines, the best quotes when he was Gucci Hollywood Rock.
Oh, yeah.
But with that being said, there is no reason for me, and I'll get your opinion, but I'm just going to say for me, there's no reason for him to come back. The man is a superstar, the most paid actor in the world right now type of thing. He's making movies left and right. He and his ex-wife, Danny Garcia, they have the XFL, the 3.0 that they just started, and they unveiled the uniforms today, by the way. So if you haven't, go check that out. But anyways, like he has so many things that he's doing right now. Not only an actor and a businessman, tequila entrepreneur. He's partial owner of a CEO of a football league. Like just so many things. And I think his time in the ring, it's not over. The man could jump back in whatever he wants right now. He's in the most fantastic shape, and he could get back in there and hang with the best of the best. He's The Rock. Yes, Ryan, thank you. The Rock's 800. Yes, the Gucci unbuttoned. You know what I'm talking about? The black and gold. You black and gold. Rock coming back makes as much sense as a screen door in a submarine. Even if you beat Roman, where does it go from there? Thank you, Ryan, because you share my sentiment. Because for so long, Alex has been calling The Rock's coming back to fight Roman at WrestleMania, and I knew that. I believe it when he says it. I'm not for it. And I was a huge Rock guy too. Like I loved, like we said, we love Stone Cold, we love The Rock, we love everything that they did. But I don't know. Am I in the minority here? What are your thoughts on The Rock either coming back at the Rumble as an entry / possible winner, or coming back at that in-between pay-per-view, or on a Monday or Friday night, depending on what happens, and challenging his cousin to maybe not the titles, but challenging him to WrestleMania, it's another thing in and of itself. Well, what if the titles aren't on the line at Mania and it's just Roman versus Rock? But everybody talks about that's a dream match. You want to fight I mean, they did it. I don't know if you've ever watched an episode of Young Rock, like whatever they even hinted to that in one of the episodes. Like you're just that. Oh, that would be a dream match, and I want to fight you. And they're just like, oh, maybe one day at WrestleMania. And it's just like,
Mhm.
well, what are we doing here? What do we? Has this been so far booking that do the fans want to see this as us as common fans? Alfred, well, what do you want to see? What are your thoughts? Because I could keep going. I could keep going on this little
Right,
soapbox,
right,
but please,
right.
please take the mic and show me. Whoa, tell me, what are your thoughts? What are you feeling?
Now, when I first saw that online in the dirt sheets about they're like talking about the idea of The Rock coming back at the Royal Rumble and setting up a match and everything. Obviously, nothing set in stone and everything. They were just like kind of discussing it. Honestly, to be when I first read it, I was like, oh, I was like, it was kind of a letdown to me because I'm like, I'm as much as Roman and The Rock makes sense from like storyline purposes and everything. I just want Cody Rhodes to have that WrestleMania moment with Roman Reigns. So when I was reading the Rock article, I was thinking, dude, I hope that isn't true. But if Rock actually came back and faced Roman Reigns, I wouldn't be like too mad about it. Because like I said, they can build this up to be real huge if they have Rock comes back at the Royal Rumble and Ryan Taylor made a good point because he was telling me this last week. He said in the comment section, he was like saying that Solo was saying he keeps referring to he was sent by his elders, and what if like that ties in the storyline and it's like what if the elder is The Rock? I told Ryan last week I was like, if anything, it'd probably be like somebody like Rikishi or something. But he has a good point. It was like, what if they tie that into the storyline and it makes it even more obvious that The Rock is going to come back? But as far as like The Rock and Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, obviously Cody and Reigns is my number one match I want to see there.
Right,
But like I said, WrestleMania is in Hollywood, and you already list all the accolades and everything The Rock had in Hollywood. Like you said, your favorite persona of The Rock is Hollywood Rock,
Hollywood
and
Gucci
like
Rock.
yeah, it makes too much sense. Like at the same year, magnitude, it's like they can build it up to be great. Me personally, I don't want to see Rock winning the Royal Rumble because obviously it don't make that much sense for him because he's proven everything else. I just want to see if he comes back the night after the Royal Rumble. I know obviously it don't make sense because whoever wins the Royal Rumble is going to face Roman, but
Right,
um
right.
I personally don't want to see Rock win in the Rumble because I'm going obviously in person. But as far as the Rock and Roman Reigns wrestling at WrestleMania, I'm not too huge on it, but I can see it. It obviously makes sense, but it will definitely be a ticket seller for real. Like, not sure how much the WrestleMania tickets are selling right now, cause due to the prices. Cause I know the prices are extreme out the roof. But
Yeah.
um, Rock and Roll, Alex,
Oh my
someone's
God.
missing on the
Okay. Oh,
screen.
wait,
You
hold
are
on. Time out. Time out.
time out, time out.
Time out. Alex, can you throw that comment back up, please, from our esteemed missing co-host? Something is missing on the show. Yeah, it's you, you jamoke. Where are you? Also, tell mom I love her and happy birthday. But you're watching the show? Well, what are we doing here? You can't
Come
phone
on.
in real quick. You can have mom on with you. That's fine. I'd like to say hello to my other adopted mother, please. You know what? Oh, just perfect. Something is missing on the show. No, you know what? My name says it all. Uh-oh, I'm in charge. Goodbye. It's the Alfred and Ryan show tonight.
Right,
That's
right,
right.
right. But tonight only.
Tonight
Tonight
only,
only,
it's the
brother.
Alfred and Ryan show. No
Right.
Alex Brown and no big dumbass hat. I love you. Hate that hat. Hate that hat. But okay,
Right.
let's get back to business.
Like what I was saying was it's not my first choice, but I would still watch the match and everything, and I understand it from a storyline purpose.
Of course.
I know some people probably don't like it, but I know a lot of people that probably will like that match if they announce it. So that's my thoughts on it.
It's just like you said, dude. It's what does he have left to prove? Like Rock
Right.
has nothing left to prove. He's won the title. He's won all the titles. Like he has nothing left to prove. The man is a king of the business. And the Rumble to me is probably something to put the young guy. Like yes, we love having our moments where some of our favorite wrestlers from the past come back and make an appearance and make a run and toss a few people over the rope and that nostalgia. You're like, man, I'm so glad to see this person in the ring again and things like
Right.
that. But the Rumble is for young guys to get over. It's that time where you get to show pretty much everything you're about off the cuff, because it's just like you don't get to practice the Rumble. Like watching all these docuseries and 24/7 20 and all these different things on WWE Network and Peacock, and you just get to see that. How do you even train for the Rumble? Because you're in there with, at one point you could be in there with 10 guys, and that ring is not that big, and it's minimal error. Like you're focusing on this and you're saying, okay, I'm going to watch these two guys fight for a second. Now I'm going to look over here, and these guys have to be on. They have to be on. They're showcasing what they can do off the cuff. And it's just one of those things where I'm like, the Rumble is for the young guys to showcase why they maybe deserve a push. And then it's for that guy who's we've been following. You're like, man, I hope he gets a push. I hope this guy, we'll take Drew McIntyre, for example, when he won the Rumble here in Houston. And I wanted him to win. I was like, Drew would be such a good counterpart to Brock Lesnar. And then we got a short little preview of them in the ring together. And that was that was great.
That was amazing. And he eliminated Lesnar too, and the crowd went crazy.
The crowd went and I was convinced. I saw, like, he gave him a Claymore off the. I think it connected for real. I think they might have had words in the back and be like, "Hey, dude, I'm gonna have to give you a receipt." I'm gonna have to give you. Brock probably said, "I'm gonna have to give you a receipt later because you really kicked my face over the top rope. Like your boot connected. You hit me off the crowd. Great pop from the crowd. I know I was out of my seat because I was cheered for that. Like you eliminated the WWE champ. And then you go
he
on
already
to
eliminated by 15 people already at that point.
The man had eliminated. That's right. He eliminated 15 people by himself. And it's just like, yes, give me that. Give me that story. Like if, oh God, my all-time favorite, and you as well, Stone Cold Steve Austin comes back for a Royal Rumble. The glass shatters. The crowd pops. That's what you were aiming for. That's what you're aiming for when you have those type of personalities come back. I love The Rock, a staple of my childhood in the Attitude Era. I don't think that's, again, I'm some guy over here in Houston, Texas, and creative has paid all this money to do what they do week in and week out for these, for these storylines. But as strictly coming from a fan, I don't think this is good for progression of whatever. Maybe because I think Mania should be a title defense, a title fight. And there's no reason for Rock and Roman alone, that's going to print money for this company because it's
that's going to sell. That's going to sell itself right there.
And that's the whole point of this company is sports entertainment. But at the end of the day, it's a business. And they got to make their money. And what's going to put asses in the seats? What's going to sell tickets? Roman Reigns versus The Rock. Tribal Chief versus Tribal Chief. Because did you see that interview? I think it was whenever he was promoting Black Adam. He was sitting down in an interview and somebody said, Roman Reigns claims to be the head of the table. What are your thoughts on this? And The Rock said, oh, I'm the head of the table. And then just moves on to the next question. And I'm like, long-term booking? This is interesting. Like it's like, okay, now we're starting to see traction. Now we're starting to see little hints of this and that. And I'll be the first to say it. Alex was right. All this time is The Rock is coming back at some point. This is how it's going to be happening. And like you said, it's in Hollywood. Hollywood Rock is one of his personas. The man is Hollywood right now, type of thing. And it makes too much sense.
I look at it like this. If WrestleMania right now was in this next year was in Miami, no doubt question is going to be Roman versus The Rock.
Right?
no point blank period. Point blank period. But like I said, it makes sense in Hollywood as well. But to get my point, but like I said, and then Ryan just made a good point on the comments about can somebody bring up Ryan's comment again? It's about the Ferrari and the
I'm seeing it.
Lexus,
I'm seeing it now over here. It says Rock versus Roman and Cody versus Roman is like Ferrari or Lambo. Sure, you have a preference, but you won't be mad at either one showing up in your driveway.
That's point blank. That's point blank. Yeah, that's point
You're
blank.
right.
Best way to put it.
The,
Point blank.
do you okay? Let me throw this idea at you and let me see what you think.
Oh, okay.
So this is what I'm hoping. Cody is ready to rock and roll. He's ready to go. He's ready to get back on the mat. Get ready to be back in the squared circle. He's rehabbed. He's better than ever.
Mm-hmm.
He's ready to go. He gets back for the Royal Rumble.
Mm-hmm.
He wins it. Do you think somewhere in there they throw the Rock in there? And Ryan's comment makes me think about something because I see these three names together. Do you think what they do what they did back in, what was it, 2020, the WrestleMania in Tampa? Edge won the Royal Rumble. Started at 1 and lasted the whole way. Is that correct? Am I correct?
Which one? The one when he won?
Edge, didn't he won the Royal Rumble and he entered at 1? Was he outlasted every Ryan Taylor? Look it up for us real quick.
I was like, look at that one. I don't think the year he won, he ended up he started at 1.
I could have sworn he was, but he lasted like, I think he lasted
a long time.
He lasted an hour and some change, is what I'm saying. But that match, that Royal Rumble he won, it was Edge versus Roman at WrestleMania in Tampa, the first live event with fans in the pandemic era. And what did they do? I wasn't the biggest fan of it at the time. The match ended up being really well done. They threw in Daniel Bryan. It became a triple threat match. Can you see them doing that and be like, Roman versus Rock? That would print money. What would print more money? Roman versus Rock versus Cody.
Well,
do you see them doing that, or do you see them giving Roman and Cody their own and then maybe delaying
Roman versus Rock?
Rock versus Roman? But like, what do we think? What do you think? What are your thoughts on that situation? A triple threat for the title. You get your Roman versus Rock. Cody pins for either one or both titles, what have you.
Mm-hmm.
But then you satisfy kind of everybody at that point from a creative standpoint. It's like what puts the asses in the seats? Roman, Rock, Cody, title on the line. Cody pins the Rock. Rock, Roman still doesn't get pinned but loses the title type of thing, and then you can progress it further down the line. What are your thoughts on a triple threat match featuring the three of them?
Well, I personally don't like the triple threat match if that was proposed. I think Roman versus The Rock is more personal, so it's more like, oh hey, these two guys definitely need to be a one-on-one match, and I don't think inserting Cody into that feud would be good in my opinion. The same thing with Roman versus Cody. I think if it's a triple threat match, I think Cody would have to win that triple threat match because it's obviously we know why he came back to WWE and the reason why and everything.
That's right.
So beating either Roman or Rock can like solidify his legacy in WWE. That's why I don't really want it to be a triple threat match. With Roman and The Rock. Oh yeah, he ended at 21. I knew he wasn't one. I know for 21. Sure it wasn't one.
Okay, 21.
Yeah, 21.
But a long time.
Yeah, that's all I have to say.
He's in there a long time.
So yeah, he waited in. He lasted a while, but like I said, I don't think a triple threat match would do Cody. Like I said, Cody. It'll do Cody good, but I don't think it'll make the feud with Rock and Roman better. I just prefer that to be a one-on-one match. And like I said, a perfect example would be even though it worked out in his favor when Daniel Bryan won at WrestleMania in New Orleans. When he was Batista and Triple H in the triple threat match and he won. And like I said, it worked in perfect favor for Daniel Bryan because what he had to go through to get to the main event. But as far as like Cody, like as far as triple threat ideas and everything for WrestleMania, I prefer it to be just a straight one-on-one match. whether
Okay.
it be Roman or The Rock or Roman or Cody, in my personal opinion.
As a from a
And I
fan
think, because like I said, I
standpoint,
think Roman and Rock is too personal for it to be a triple threat match.
okay, I agree.
It has
Okay,
to be like a
yes.
one on one.
I just wanted to get your thoughts as a take
And I
us
know,
as podcasters out of this and put us in the seats as fans. What do we want to see? And I agree with you.
yeah,
Give me those one-on-one matches with Roman Reigns. That's what needs to happen. Cody versus Roman for the title. Rock versus Roman. Maybe not for the title, but for the head of the table. That could be a stipulation. Doesn't and that covers you as far as we want this match to mean something. It's family versus family, head of the table versus head of the table. Who gets to call themselves the true? And maybe that could be a segue into
mm-hmm.
Roman being the true head of the table. He finally fights The Rock. He fights Dwayne, like they always talked about Joe and Dwayne. You get The Rock versus Roman, like that we've seen on TV and that we've got hints to. That by itself
Right.
would probably be, I mean, just like you said, they're deserving of their own. But also,
Mm-hmm.
I thought Roman versus Edge at Mania should have been just the two of them. And then Daniel
Yeah,
Bryan was
that's true.
inserted into it, and I was like, okay, maybe I don't know what creative might be thinking, what's going on, why are they all of
Mm-hmm.
a sudden making this a triple threat match? This takes away kind of from the seasoned vet Edge, who can still lace him up, who can still do the things that he did, from the attitude to the ruthless aggression to now type of thing, everything that he did, versus the basically the up and coming. And I say that with the most respect, because Roman's not up and coming. This man has paid his dues with the company, but it's like the seasoned vet versus not the new
Mm-hmm.
guy, but kind of the new guy. And I wanted to see that develop. I wanted to see that as a match by itself, just the two of them, like one on one,
Right.
all the stipulations you want to do, one on whatever you have it. I wanted to
Mm-hmm.
see Edge versus Roman. And then Daniel Bryan got inserted, and I love me some Daniel Bryan. I love chanting yes as the crowd. I
Yeah.
loved all that. But I think as a fan, I was a little bit disappointed. What were your thoughts on that match? Just real quick before we move on. Did you want to see Roman versus Edge, or were you happy with, like, oh, thank goodness we added a third person. This will be a great main event for night 2.
I actually like the um I actually liked it when it was a triple threat match. I know when Edge won like I said, Edge versus Roman. Um, I was excited for it at the time, but like I said, I'm a huge Daniel Bryan mark. So when he was inserted, and it didn't bother me not one bit that he was inserted into the match. And
Yeah,
and the crazy part is, as much as I'm saying that I love that Daniel Bryan was inserted in the match, Daniel Bryan himself, I remember this vividly. I remember this when he felt like he wasn't even needed in the match. So
okay,
he's feeling like it should have been been a one-on-one match, and I'm feeling like it should have been a triple threat match. Like that's how insane it was, and
okay,
everything. But at the time, like I said, at the time, I didn't mind it being a triple threat match when it was booked. Um, but like I said, some instances it's been some instances in WrestleMania where it's like we want to see a one-on-one match, and it end up being triple threaded or fatal four-way matches. It's
right,
several instances like that. Instances
right.
like that.
Right, because I had this whole preconceived notion in my head. It's like Edge wins the Rumble. I'm like, holy cow, this is going to be a really good. This is going to be a really good few months leading up to WrestleMania. I'm like, Edge
Right.
making his comeback. Edge
Mm-hmm.
is back, like, again, after he won the Royal Rumble here in Houston. Or no, after he returned to the
Yeah,
WWE,
he returned and he was
and that was, you were there too, correct?
and
Yeah.
nobody saw it coming either.
I
That's the
didn't
best part
see.
about it.
When I tell you, I am a full grown man, and when I tell you I jumped out of my seat like I was a 15-year-old kid watching wrestling for the first time, when his music hit, I lost it.
Oh yeah.
I lost it because I just couldn't believe this man was back. I hear his music and nobody saw it coming, type of thing. And then he gets injured. It was at Backlash, I believe, against Randy Orton because
Randy Orton,
the
yeah, it was
pandemic
Orton.
happened right after the Rumble, and then
Yeah.
I think they were in I believe it was a no holds barred match because I believe he got injured on a ladder spot or something like that, but he tore his bicep, and it was
Mm-hmm.
either his pec or his bicep, and he had to go out of action for months again after he just made this return a few months prior. And you're like,
Right.
man, like that's rough. And then the Rumble in the Thunderdome happened, and he wins it. And he came in at number 21
Mm-hmm.
and lasts like an hour and 10 minutes or something ridiculous. And he wins it. I'm like, okay, oh my God, we're gonna get this. We're gonna get he's gonna go for the title. He's going after Roman. This is gonna make for great TV. It's gonna make for great storylines. And it did for a while. And then Daniel Bryan came in, and I love me Daniel Bryan, but I wasn't a fan of the triple threat. I was like, man, I don't know. I'm not the triple threat guy, especially for a WrestleMania, maybe for a Raw, SmackDown, not one of the major pay-per-views, but WrestleMania with
Yeah, it has to be booked right. A triple threat match. It has to be the perfect situation for it to call, like
that's
for it to be a triple
what
threat
I'm
match.
saying
That's
because
the thing.
it's not only was it Mania, it was the first WWE show with fans back. And
Mm-hmm.
me and my buddy at the time, we were like, "Do you want to go?" And
Hmm.
it's like, yeah, why not? Why not? Let's take some time off of work. And this is still pandemic era, so we're flying on the airplane with masks, and we're all like, everything is still kind of like, oh, what do we do in the pandemic type of thing? And we were like, let's go,
Hmm.
let's go to Tampa. So I sat in line on that pre-sale and bought 2 tickets to WrestleMania in Tampa, and the electricity of that place was insane because again, it's the first event with fans back. It wasn't a full stadium because they only allowed 25% at the time because this was still pretty early on, and it was just one of those things. It's like, man, this is so surreal. And part of me was like, I wish it was Roman versus Edge only. Like like I said, I love me some Daniel Bryan, but the triple threat for the first show with fans back, and it's that at Mania, I was kind of like,
Mm-hmm.
oh man. But anyways, we're getting way off track here. But I think which one do you want to see at Mania more? Do you want to see Roman versus Cody at Mania, or do you want to see Roman versus Rock at this Mania?
Oh, definitely
If you had to
Roman
choose,
versus Cody, definitely for me.
that's your pick.
Definitely.
That's the pick.
Yeah, that is my pick right there. Because you
Okay.
already know how I wanted to play. You already know how I wanted to play out. I want Cody to return at the Rumble, be
Okay.
like the 30th entrance,
Oh, you
win the
want him to take
Rumble.
number 30 and be like, all right, let's do this. Like,
Yeah, I don't want him to come early in. I don't want him to come early, like in the Rumble.
okay.
I want him to be like the number 30, so people can not anticipate him because they obviously they're gonna read the third sheets and know he's coming back. But I want him like everybody know he's gonna be 30, so everybody gonna be like anticipating the countdown.
And
And
then
next
what
thing
if
you
it's
know, he
not
shows up.
him at
Nah, if it's
30?
not him, that'll be the ultimate troll job right there. Let that I could
That'll be the
I'll be
ultimate
booing it.
Alfred troll job is
Yeah,
what that would be.
yeah. But that'll be my perfect scenario, him winning the Rumble and then obviously building up the storyline for WrestleMania and him
Okay.
winning it. Just can you imagine him winning at WrestleMania? Like both
In
titles? Like,
Hollywood. In
yeah,
Hollywood.
that's my preference, right? That's my number one wish right there that WWE does for the Rumble and WrestleMania.
If Cody's ready to
No
go.
respect to Roman versus Rock, but I want to see Cody. This is the perfect
Okay.
time for Cody to win the championship.
The- Who that question that we've asked almost every week, and we're always like, and we seem to come to the same answer each time. Who dethrones Roman Reigns and carries this company for a little while. Who does it? And I think the prodigal son, the man, like I think it's Cody. Honestly,
It gotta be. It
I
has to
think
be.
it's Cody, and no disrespect to anybody else in that locker room, because I love Drew McIntyre, I love Bobby Lashley, Brock Lesnar, God, who else? Seth Rollins. Like you could put
And
a
the
belt
crazy,
on
like I
those
said, and
guys.
all the crazy, the best thing is all the ones you just named. They had their moments where they were like, oh, they were the top guys right there. They had their moments. I feel like WWE should just try something new.
Yeah,
And what better way is to have it with a guy that's practically over right now with everybody, like with the crowd and
everybody,
yeah.
everybody, and it's just like I didn't know how his reception was going to be when he came back to fight Seth Rollins at Mania. I did not expect it to be like that because honestly, whenever he left WWE and then helped start AEW. Like that is his baby. And then for him to say, okay, it's time for me to go home. It's time for me to go back to the company that my father made such a name, like made that Rhodes name legendary. And it's so you're right. I think there's no better time than now to put the strap on Cody Rhodes, put the belt on him. But do you think they split the belts up? That's another question that I want to. Do
That's a good
you
question.
because right now what are the belts? It's the undisputed WWE
And
Universal Champion,
the Universal Champion. Yep.
but they haven't unified it. They haven't made it one. You don't have one belt, so that leads me to believe. And what are your thoughts? Do you think Roman loses twice to lose the belts? Or does he lose once and loses them at the same time? Or what do you want to see? So tell me that.
I want to see. I want to see both belts unified, and
Okay.
just you might as well just have the champion go on both shows. That would probably be the best thing at this point, because I don't because Cody. He's a Raw wrestler now, so um, who's on SmackDown can like will dethrone Roman Reigns. You go basically having Roman Reigns lose twice, like in a whole time, like
Yeah, like who
in
could
the same time.
is Drew on SmackDown?
Yeah, he's on SmackDown. So
I
like if you have him losing to Drew and Cody, like what does that do for like Roman and everything?
Roman gets a much
And
deserved long vacation is
yeah,
what he gets
yeah.
after
'Cause, I mean, 'cause he
carrying this
technically
company
has
for
vacation time
800.
now because he doesn't appear on shows a lot because he on his new contract. It's like he only has a certain amount of shows he's usually on. Um, but seriously, I just think I hope they just eventually unify the belt and it just have the champion just appear on both shows. That's what I would do. And
Just unify the titles and just have the undisputed. Do you go back to
it,
like the one of my personal favorite belts? Do you go back to that style of the undisputed WWE championship and just do away with the universal,
yeah,
title
most definitely there.
altogether? And,
Yeah, most definitely.
and here's another thing. Speaking of the belts and the Rock is
I know what you're gonna ask
you know
next.
exactly what I'm you know exactly what I'm going to talk about, and it's so
Yep.
interesting because everything on Young Rock is portrayed when he's doing his interview is portrayed in the future. Like it's like The Rock is retired from the ring. He's done. He's done all these things. He has all his accolades, all his belts that he's ever won. There's one thing I saw it on Twitter, and I'm just like, interesting, because I saw that picture, and Rock's doing an interview, and on the top of the glass case, he's got the blue and gold Attitude Era belt.
Mhm.
He's got the undisputed title, and then right
Mhm.
there in the middle is the blue current WWE Universal Championship. And
Mhm.
if you think about it, the show is as it's happening is set in the future, and he's recounting everything that's ever happened to him in the ring, in the movies, and everything with football and everything like that.
Mhm.
When did Roman win the Universal title? he's never won the Universal title. He debuted the scratch WWE logo, pretty much what developed into this new title belt is that design, because he retired the I believe it was the spinner belt. Is that what he retired? He retired
Yeah.
the
He
spinner
retired
belt.
the spinner belt and he introduced a new design.
Yeah, he introduced the scratch, the WWE scratch, just WWE champ. That one.
Which is an
And
underrated belt, by the way.
I love that belt. It's the scratch title that I like. I'm one of these guys, team spinner belt. Give me I need to buy that belt and hang it on my wall because that thing
Oh yeah, oh,
is
most
immaculate. But it's like, is that more long-term booking that we're just kind of grazing over? Is like, what is, do you think it's like, okay, maybe he might lose the title. Maybe this might be for the belt. Who, like, what direction are we going? What are we doing? But I'll let our I'm sure our fans are like, oh my God, they've been talking about Roman Reigns for 41 minutes. It's like, well, yeah, because this man is carrying like, no disrespect to anybody else in that locker room. I love tuning in Mondays and Friday nights for WWE. I do. But it has to be talked about that Roman Reigns' journey from the Shield to getting booed as a solo performer to now the man is so over. There are no boos. You acknowledge the tribal chief. And that's honestly impressive. And it's been 800 and something plus days as champion, as that bloodline story has been carrying everything. I tune in for that. I tune in to see what is the bloodline going to do. And speaking of the bloodline, I have to, we have to kind of stay on track for Alex's outline so he doesn't feel like he wasted his time. But Sami Zayn, NXT Sami Zayn, I was a fan of. Sami Zayn, when the main roster call up, fan. Conspiracy theory, Sami Zayn did not like that character. Did not like that character. Usi Sami Zayn, sign me up. Honorary Us, sign me up. Like, the man is just like, what happened with War Games, and he won the trust of Jay. The embrace afterwards, the hug, and just that whole creative is killing it with this storyline and how they do things. Paul Heyman is Paulie is a legend in not only a manager role, but the backstage and just all the everything he does, everything he touches is with this company is gold, because he's a master at his craft. Truly is. What are your thoughts on the progression of new guy Sami Zayn in NXT to the Usi Juicy that we got now? Like, what are your thoughts on Sami? Because I need to hear someone else's, please.
Not so saying, but this is probably my second. Well, actually, I could say this is actually my first favorite Sami Zayn. I liked Sami Zayn when he first came up and everything, and he was his theme song. He had the catchy theme song, the short hair, everything. And I remember vividly. I went to a house show, and I rarely go to house shows, but I went to a house show where it was in College Station actually.
Okay.
And the triple threat, the main event was Dean Ambrose, Sami Zayn, and I forgot who was the third. Oh, Kevin Owens. So it was a triple threat match, and everything was the main event. And I knew then and there, so I was like, this guy Sami Zayn is gonna be something going forward.
Yeah.
And I didn't really like the conspiracy series Sami Zayn because
not at all.
I just thought he just rambled on and everything. But this new Sami Zayn is something else right now, and he's the most probably a top three most over person right now currently on the roster, and
it's beautiful.
It's like
I love it.
It's like WWE. It's for some reason WWE does stuff where they on purpose they know good and well we love Sami Zayn. Y'all need to utilize him way more. And it's like WWE waits so long to eventually grant our wish. But luckily, I'm glad they're granted our wish, because this Sami Zayn right here is one of my personal favorite ones.
And they jumped on the opportunity, and it was they caught lightning in a bottle at the perfect time. and and that just goes to say about what's creative doing with this bloodline, because honestly, next to the New Day, which is a tag team that I don't think is ever going to get broken up, Alex wants to see him break up. I
Good.
don't. I
I don't
don't.
either for good
I don't.
for several reasons.
Tell me,
Several reasons.
tell me. What are your reasons? Why do you not want to see the New Day break up?
Because they're first for merchandise sales right now,
They print
and
money for
the
that
kid,
company.
yeah, they make money, and um, the kids are loving them and everything. They're over. They're so over. Right now with the kids, and it's like you can't break them up at the moment. Plus, Big E injured anyway, so like,
Right.
uh, even if one of them goes on a singles run, the other two remaining people in the group, they're still gonna have making New Day. So I also
Right.
feel like all three of them should break up. Personally, right there. And then another
Alex
thing is,
Alex wants to see him break up. I'm like, you're crazy.
and then another reason is, aside from Big E, what what is Kofi and what is Xavier gonna go after them breaking up his New Day? Like what direction are you gonna put them in going forward?
Right, because
If you
Kofi
think,
had his run as champ,
yeah, he
which
had his
was
run and it was as
awesome.
New Day.
Yeah,
Yeah, as awesome. So
it was
and we
great.
loved it when he was world champion. Even though we didn't love how it turned out, but we loved it when he won the championship. So
I'm still so mad about
if
that.
he leaves New Day, if
I'm
he
still
leaves
so
New
mad
Day,
about that.
I was mad too. I ain't even gonna lie. But if he leaves New Day, like what new character or what like run are you gonna put Kofi, even Xavier Woods on? So that's like the two reasons, personally, the two big reasons why I feel like New Day should never break up.
And I
New
think
Day
there's
should
such
never.
a I think there's such a presence in the locker room too. Like I think there's
Right.
such a their opinions and who they are and how they carry themselves backstage with all the other wrestlers. They I don't think you can break them up. I don't think there's a reason to. I think you should always have them going after the tag titles together. I think you should that should be one of those tag teams that you if you broke them up, you
Mhm.
might as well retire them right there, because that's a forever tag team. That is it. Also the Street Profits. That's another one who's
Now that team, I
yeah.
definitely want them to break up. That
You
team
want the
for
Street
Street.
Profits to break up?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I definitely. I want to see. I want to see both of them on their own on a singles run,
Yeah.
and I think they can do it too. Actually,
I
like
think Montez
both of those.
Ford, we saw shades of it earlier this year. I think we saw little things here and there when they're fighting in tag matches, and then for whatever reason, I think this was when Vince was still with the company, but for whatever reason something would go wrong or something's happening, and the camera just immediately cuts to Montez's face, and you're like, okay,
Yeah.
are we seeing like something happens in the match when Montez isn't in, and you're like,
Hmm.
okay, something that's not going their way, and you just see him, and he's looking around, and he's making his faces, and you're like, oh, is creative kind of, are they testing the waters? Are they dipping their foot
Hmm.
in and saying, what if Montez gets a singles run? How is the crowd going to react? And Montez is another guy who's an artist on the mic as well,
Right. Right.
as far as talking and
that's another
flaming
thing.
everybody up. Like
Right.
I would love to see him on a singles run, but I also love Street Profits. I
Right.
do, because
It's just
we
a
want
a
the
good
smoke.
a good comparison would be and I'm not comparing the Booker or anything, but Harlem Heat when they
Ah,
broke up and
okay,
everything, and Montez obviously, and Booker T went on his singles run, and he later elevated his career, and then Stevie Ray was like that. I personally don't see like that comparison. I think both D'Angelo Dawkins and Montez Ford have a bright future as even as a singles competitor, because you could tell their charisma and how they talk on the mic and how they even their wrestling ability, especially Montez Ford, because I'm higher on him than Dawkins. But
right.
um,
No, I agree.
I think WWE should test like try it out. If it doesn't work down the line, then okay, at least y'all try it. But I feel like both of those guys have a bright future, and I definitely want to see Street Profits break up soon. I think it. think it's I think it's kind of time for it to happen too, honestly. But that's just me. That's just me.
Okay. All right. I can see that. But speaking of tag teams, how much longer you think our boys got? How much longer you think the Usos got, man?
Yeah,
Because that's
I knew that question was coming. Ooh,
I love Jimmy and Jay as a tag team. I do. It's
oh
not
yeah,
only just because they're a part of the bloodline and they're a part of that whole thing, but they're great tag partners. They're great. They're great. So how long do you think that's going to last? Like, whenever do you think the whole downfall is going to be? Does it go in this order or this order? And I want your take. Does it go? The tag five titles get lost first, and then
mm-hmm.
that's going to lead to creative going. Okay, tag titles are gone, so now here comes the Universal title, WWE title. Those are going to be the ones lost next. Or do they pull a reverse and Roman loses his titles, and then all of a sudden it's up to Jimmy and Jay to carry on, and then they lose their titles, and then that's your bloodline storyline, and it's over and done with. What do you want to see happen? What do you think might happen? What are your thoughts, honestly?
I think the former were likely what I want to see happen. I want to see both of them lose. That's when I say both of them, like Roman and the Usos lose at WrestleMania.
Okay.
Um, I prefer it being on the same night because it'll make for it
Damn.
to be like a dang thing.
Okay.
Whether it be night one or night two, but I prefer the Usos lose first, and
Okay.
then they go back to Roman Reigns' locker room. Roman Reigns already pissed off and everything that they lost and everything. Then he got to deal with I got to face if let's just say either Cody or The Rock in the main event that same night, and he's
Okay.
thinking about the Usos just lost now and everything and things like that, and then he ends up losing. Say both of them ends up losing at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Then the next night on Raw, bam, the breakup of the bloodline right there. I can see that happening. That's my preference.
That's what
Yeah,
you
that
want
is
to
my
see
preference
happen.
right there. And the team that I want them to lose to,
Who
um,
becomes the tag team champs?
the tag champs, um, Seth Rollins and Kevin Owens.
Yeah,
I want that to happen,
you
and I
want
want to
that to
see
happen?
and I want to see Sami Zayn lose leave the kind of mess up the bloodline, but like kind of have a storyline where he get kicked out, and then he ended up
Okay.
Kevin Owens ended up saving him, and then that leads to the match at WrestleMania for the tag titles. I want to see them
Okay.
uh beating the Usos for the title. I think that's really the only logical, really contender uh to beat them, unless you go down like NXT, and then you got people like who was the former tag champ? I think it was MSK, the Nash Carter and Wesley.
Yes. Yes.
So unless you go down to
Yes.
NXT and then you have like somebody from NXT beat the Usos, but as
Okay.
far as like who's on the main roster, Seth Rollins and Kevin Owens makes the most sense to me.
I don't know if you saw or if you watch NXT or you
Oh
saw
yeah,
anything on, but did you? Speaking of that, and this you mentioned NXT, and it made me think of this. Did you see this past? Was it yesterday? I think it was yesterday, or I think it was yesterday.
mm-hmm.
Xavier Woods and Kofi, they were both looking at the NXT tag titles, and they were like,
Oh yeah,
okay, like
I saw that.
you see this transition. It's not really NXT is no longer looked as purely developmental as we see with Mandy Rose coming back from the main roster to be the NXT
Yeah,
women's title,
they're
as you
bringing more,
saw.
they're bringing back wrestlers.
And you saw Finn Balor make his return after he won the Universal
Mm-hmm.
title, the first ever
Yeah.
Universal title. He won that, got injured, rehabbed, debuted on NXT, and then made a run as the NXT champ again, as coming from the main roster. And then Mandy
Mm-hmm.
Rose did it. Are we about to see New Day 2.0 on NXT? Like, are we about to see them on there again? Like, I don't know. I like how they do this, honestly. I like how they
I do
do
too. I do too.
main roster talent, because NXT is in no sense of the word a demotion if you get sent back to NXT as,
Like,
oh,
yeah,
go
I
get
would say
more work. Go
like
get
a year or so ago, we would have considered that a dang demotion right there. Like when Finn Balor went back to NXT, I'm like, God dang it, what Vince? Why did you you basically promoted Finn Balor back down to NXT and everything? But now, like you said, these days now it's like, oh shoot, like they actually bringing back wrestlers like names back
yeah,
to NXT and everything. It
yeah.
ain't by design either. It's like they they want them like to bring them back down there, and it's not demotion per se.
Like
That's the main thing. But I can see more stars coming back down there and helping out the show.
because it's its own show now. It's
Right.
Monday, Tuesday, Friday, Raw,
Yeah.
NXT, SmackDown. It is no longer a demotion. I don't think it ever was a demotion. I think it
Oh
was
no,
more
no.
like,
To me, it wasn't either. But looking in the eyes of other like the fans and everything,
yes,
most people considered it a demotion.
like if you had
Yeah.
to go back, hey, you need to go spend some time at the PC. You need to go, like perfect your craft a little bit. It looks like you're going to be working on Tuesday nights for a little bit, type of thing. Like you said, back in the day, maybe a year or so ago, that's the case. But now
Yeah.
we saw the New
It's a
Day.
legit third brand to me.
It is. It's a legit brand. It's a third brand of a third major brand of WWE. And honestly, we might see the New Day make a run as the tag team, maybe champs, or make a feud with them and see where that goes, where that develops. So I'm incredibly interested to seeing that. But a couple more things I wanted to talk to you about. And I know we're
Oh, yeah.
running out of time here, but honestly, speaking of the bloodline, I think I messaged Alex and was just like, I am such a fan, such a huge, and he's a man of few words. He doesn't talk, he doesn't do anything. He's straight hands in business and walks off. And I'm talking
Mhm.
about Solo Sikoa. Like this
Mhm.
man, this past week, shades of Umaga with the Samoan spike, the super kick, everything. And it has been like how he beat Riddle's ass in that ring. And he
So
did
effortlessly.
when he did the Samoan spike, I think I jumped out of my seat. It was like, oh my God, it's Umaga. Like it's Umaga. He did the
Yeah.
yell, the spike. He executed it perfectly. He did the super kick. I was like, oh my God, I'm looking at Umaga right now. And I always
Mhm.
had a special place for Umaga because he was a Houston guy.
Oh
He
yeah,
he
yeah,
called
yeah.
Houston home, and I
Mhm.
loved the man. I remember he went on his undefeated run for a little while, and the man just couldn't lose. Anyone you put in front of him, it's a real
He was
short match, and
crazy
he's
athletic and everything.
at least the Samoan bulldozer. Like how do
Yeah.
you not love that guy? And it's just it was awesome. I miss Umaga all the time because he was
Yeah.
such a great character, personality, everything all around. And to see Solo Sikoa doing that, and I think that's what he's gonna make his persona, not directly copying that, but I think the Samoan spike, the super kick, that just everything that Umaga did as far as in his moves wheelhouse. I think Solo's now going to take it and run with it because how the
Mhm.
crowd and how Twitter reacted to all of that. You should have seen it was like a dedication to Umaga. Can like everything we did, it was like side by side videos of the Samoan spike
Mhm.
and Solo and Umaga, and it's just like it made me so happy to see that. And the reason I bring it up, as of course he's a part of the bloodline, but do I see a solo run coming a lot sooner than later. Like
Oh yeah.
I
Oh yeah. Most
really
definitely.
do. Like he's to his cousins when they're all asking for a hug, he's sitting back there like this. Like, I don't want anything to do with that. Like I'm not here for that.
Right. Right.
I'm here for business to kick ass and chew bubble gum, and I'm all out of bubble gum type of thing. So it's like, what do what direction is Solo gonna? Is he gonna be the first to break off from the bloodline? Is he the first to gonna beat Sammy's ass and then leave? and be like, I'm done with this. I'm doing my own thing. Like this is, I want to see it. I want to see Solo go on a singles run because I
I do
think he
too. I
can
do
do it.
too.
I think he
I
can
do.
do it.
I still think Sammy is going to be the first one to uh defect from the bloodline, but like you said, I want to see Solo on a singles run as well. And last Monday night basically started planted the seeds for that to happen when he beat the heck out of Matt Riddle and everything.
He
So
beat him so bad.
he destroyed him. Like it's not even funny. Like they had to stretcher out Matt Riddle, and it was that's how bad it was. But um, like I said, I don't think he's gonna be the first one to leave out, but I think he's gonna start after this assault on Monday. I think he's gonna start being more vocal,
Yeah.
if
You
that
think
makes sense, because he hasn't really said much. Um,
man a few words. He's about
he's been
hands and that's
yeah
it.
yeah. He's basically had his arms like this the whole time, like when he's in the ring. I think he's gonna be more vocal going forward now and everything. So it's gonna be exciting to see. I'm interested to see how that works out for him. Because like I said a few shows back, I can see an intercontinental or US title run with this guy and soon.
Push
Because
it up
I'm
further. Push it up
yeah
further.
I'm a huge I'm a huge I really like Solo. So curious to see how that plays out.
In honestly, what was did we get Solo versus Drew in that War Games match for like 2 seconds when there were just
Few minutes,
bodies
yeah,
laying
yeah,
out, and
yeah.
then we saw Solo and Drew, and I'm like, give me this.
Right.
Give me this right now. Like get everyone else out of the ring. Give me this fight right now because I think that would be I think Solo's going to have a very successful singles run. I
Right.
feel
I
it.
mean, he
I
he he
think
has the
it.
look.
Yes.
He has. I mean, we say it all the time. Like, oh, this wrestler doesn't have the look to be a champion or things like that. He has the look to be a champion and more to me.
He's got it.
That's how it was with Roman when he was like when people looked at him as the third member of the Shield,
Yeah.
everything, and people were higher on Ambrose and Rollins to me. And, at the time, I think, and they were saying Roman Reigns is the wild card, but he has that look. I feel the same way with Solo. He has that look to me.
He's got it.
Yeah.
Like you said, when
Yeah.
you talk about it, he's got it.
Oh
He
yeah.
here real quick. Alex, can you bring back up Ryan's previous comment? The speculate about the Usos. It says we can speculate about Usos and or bloodlines splitting, but they're not going to mess with the money makers. You're running a steakhouse. You don't take ribeye off the menu. I could not agree with you more. But do you think? And Ryan, please feel free to chime in and answer this in the comments. And Alfred, I want your thoughts at
Mhm.
what point and obviously this is a business, like first and foremost this is a business. It's a job for these wrestlers. This is how they're making their livelihood, keeping a roof over their head, food on the table type of thing. At what point do you think the company says, okay, this is enough, we've I think we've done this as far as we can go, we've done as much as we can? Or do you think they revisit some things, they do this here and that? At what point do you think WWE creative, Triple H, everybody says this has run as far as it can go? This we have done everything we can. I think it's time to take the belts off of everybody. I think it's time to do this. But Ryan raised a very valid statement. He's like, you don't mess with the money makers, and right now the bloodline prints dollar bills for this company at a insane level. So
Mhm.
at what point do you think, are we ever going to get to that point where we say the bloodline has to go, or do you think we got another year of this? Like, well, what else do we got? Because honestly, I love SmackDown, I love Raw, I love tuning in. I tune in for the bloodline right now. I want to see what's going on with the bloodline. I want to see what are your thoughts on all of this? Ryan, please answer too. I want to see everything. Alfred, what are your thoughts of when this dream run ends, or do they push this gravy train until the wheels fall off?
All all good things have to come to an end, especially in the wrestling business. So it's just like the NWO. Like I know they kept on adding members. Same thing with DX when they kept on adding members. I'm talking about the NWO.
Uh-huh.
It had to eventually end somewhere along the line. They obviously you can't keep having the same like having the same group for a long period of time because it's gonna get bored with the fans and everything. As far as the bloodline, I feel like um, about another definitely a year from now, Bloodline would be done. Definitely a year because what year
You think
the
1 year they
Bloodline?
got another year left?
Yeah, I think most definitely by next year it definitely be in. I think it's gonna be sooner than December of 2023.
Okay.
Um, I personally feel like it should end the night after WrestleMania, but that's just me. But um, when did the Bloodline started? Right, it was obviously during COVID, but I remember when the crowds came back. What was that? 2020? What was it last year?
It was
When it
last
came
year
back to
because
Houston to
the first
SmackDown,
show, yeah, the first full capacity crowd was SmackDown in Houston.
2021.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I forgot the date, but it was like June or July or something along those lines. But anyway, that's
Yes.
around the time when the Bloodline first started because I remember Roman's entrance was kind of new at the time, and
He
then
had his new music. Yes, you're right.
yeah, and
You're
then
right.
the Usos finally joined Roman I guess a month or so ago or something like that. So it's been at least a year for this group, and then for sure. So 2 years might be stretching it. But
Okay.
I mean, as I mean, they're making money off of it right now. Like Ryan said, with the money makers, this is the makers right there. So as in WWE's eyes, as long as they're getting money off these merchandises and everything, and the crowd is loving and everything, I um I can see it lasting a while. But me personally, what I want to see it in is the night after WrestleMania because
That
I'm not too big on um having something for a long period of time when it comes to wrestling.
so you want to
Like
see it end. Well, like you said, the NWO is immortal, and
right.
at the time, like it was forever. Hogan, Nash, Hall. It's forever
And then
those
they had their
guys.
breaks in between. That's what made it so great. Like,
Do you think they could do
can you
that? Do you think
imagine?
Bloodline could do that? Have their breaks in between and always be the Bloodline?
Not um, not necessarily. Not that's a good question. Not necessarily. Um, because if they have their breaks, because like I said, Roman's not going to be here a long time when you think about it,
Yeah.
because he's already having his schedule, whereas he only working a certain amount of days out the year anyway.
Hmm.
So um if the bloodline breaks up this one time they break up, I mean, why would he bring back the bloodline like later on down the line if we know for sure he's not going to be wrestling for a long time. He doesn't have any many years left
You
and
you bring
everything.
up
And
a
then what you gonna
valid
have
point.
the other people carry the faction after if Roman's not in it, and it's not gonna be the same. So
It wouldn't be the. You're right. You're right. It
yeah,
wouldn't be the same. It works as all together. And
right.
honestly, we've been talking about it for a long time. And I even had this a pretty good in-depth discussion with Alex of how they could further the bloodline. Uh, oh my god, I'm at a loss for words. The bloodline creative is how Alex. Will you bring up Ryan's comment of someone has to pin Roman Reigns? The one right before that. This one. Alex and I've talked to Alex about this one. Roman hasn't been pinned. Roman has
Mm.
not been pinned in a singles competition, in a SmackDown, Raw, pay per view, you name it. He has not been pinned yet. I could see Roman losing the title in, again, this goes back to that triple threat scenario.
Where he doesn't get pinned.
He doesn't get pinned. He does. How
See,
do you further the bloodline? How do you keep making money? You have Roman come out and talk and be like, I don't know why you're coming around here like you think you're the champ, you're the face of the company. I've never lost. Undefeated. Never ever lost type of thing.
mm,
And I can see them furthering that, and I can see them putting the belts back on, and then finally maybe we see Roman get pinned. But again, that's so true. Ryan has a good point. Someone's got to pin Roman before we start seeing the rest of the bloodline, the rest of the bloodline crumble. Because just like Ryan said, like your tribal chief is your guy, is your man, is the leader, he's invincible. He's a god.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you must acknowledge the tribal chief type of thing. So it's just, it's one of those things, man. But holy smokes, dude, we've been talking for a long time. Alfred, is there anything?
That's a long time.
I didn't even realize. I just had to look in the corner. I was like, oh my God, an hour and 11 minutes. Everybody stopped watching this a long time ago. It's just been me, you, and Ryan hanging out here. I don't even know if Alex or Mike are still watching our show. They're probably like, oh my God, you two shut up. Stop talking so much. But hey, man, this has been an awesome show with you. I had a great time. We miss you, Alex. If you're still watching, happy birthday, Mom.
Oh yeah.
But Alfred, please tell the people where they can find you to hear you troll, talk mess, and just in general be a funny guy. Where can we find you at, man?
You can find me at A_Matthews713. That's on Twitter, because that's the only social media platform I have.
That's
then
it.
You definitely want to follow me by Saturday, because Saturday is kind of a huge game for University of Houston. So if we lose, you will be getting pissed off, Alfred.
Alfred just firing the tweets off. Twitter fingers, Alfred left and right. But you can find me on the tweeter.com at mryan588. Smash that subscribe button to No Holds Barred podcast. We should have that dumbass in the cowboy hat back next week. We miss him. We love him so much. Thank you, Ryan, my man.
Great value.
Thank you. That's it. Great value. We'll have Great Value Bray Wyatt with us back next week with the three of us. I'm sure y'all cannot wait to tune in. But from Alfred, from myself, from Alex, wherever he's at, No Holds Barred family, we love you. Mwah! Good night.
Good night.